Roger McGuinn, the iconic frontman and 12-string guitar wizard of the Byrds, may not be a name you hear every day anymore, but his impact on rock and folk music is undeniable. While fans still remember classics like Mr. Tambourine Man and Turn to Turn, the real story of what happened to McGuinn after the Byrds faded from the charts is lesser known, and it's both surprising and inspiring. In the 1960s, McGuinn helped reshape American music by blending Bob Dylan's poetic lyrics with the chiming electric sound of the Beatles, creating the genre now known as folk. The Byrds quickly became a cultural force, but behind the scenes, things were far from harmonious. Internal conflicts, egos, and constant lineup changes meant McGuinn often found himself navigating the chaos alone. Eventually, he was the original member left. As the band's popularity waned, McGuinn launched a solo career in the early 1970s. His self-titled debut album received critical acclaim but didn't achieve commercial success. By the late 70s, the former chart topper was performing in small clubs rather than massive arenas. For many fans, it seemed like he had simply disappeared, but McGuinn had other plans. In the 1980s, he underwent a personal and spiritual transformation. Becoming a born-again Christian, he intentionally stepped back from the high-pressure music industry to focus on his inner life. He no longer craved fame or radio hits. Instead, he pursued authenticity and artistic integrity. Rather than fading away, he reconnected with his folk roots and began exploring ways to keep traditional music alive. This led to one of the most fascinating parts of his story. McGuinn became a digital pioneer. In the 1990s, long before streaming platforms and social media were part of everyday life, he launched a website called The Folk Den, where he recorded and freely shared traditional folk songs. His goal wasn't profit, but preservation. He understood the importance of archiving and celebrating folk heritage, using the internet as a tool to keep the past alive, making him one of the first major artists to embrace the digital era for cultural purposes. Today, Roger McGuinn might not be in the mainstream spotlight, but he hasn't stopped performing. He continues to tour with his wife, performing intimate acoustic sets and sharing stories from a life in music. His influence still resonates, not just through the timeless songs of the Byrds, but in the folk traditions he works to preserve. So, have you heard what really happened to Roger McGuinn? He didn't vanish, he evolved. From leading one of the most groundbreaking bands of the 60s to quietly becoming a guardian of American folk music, McGuinn's journey is one of reinvention, resilience, and quiet greatness. If you're a fan of rock history, legendary musicians, and untold stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. Thanks for tuning in and keep the music alive.